thrifting, because why not? Let's go. No thrift store is ever complete without a selection of car stereo head units. Wonder if they still work. Found a pair of component cables for the PSP. If I didn't already have a pair, I would have definitely got these. Ah yes, nothing says football like trains. There is so much going on with this. So I thought this was originally a Mary Kate and Ashley branded karaoke machine for kids, but apparently it's a portable TV, AM, FM radio, and lantern? Alrighty then. Found a 24-pack of these Maxell brand blank cassette tapes, which is normally common to see while thrifting, but if you look closely, this is actually a sealed, never opened pack of cassettes. Never seen that before. I have no use for that sort of thing, but it would be a nice find for someone else. I couldn't quite figure out what this above tech thing was, but I looked on the back to discover that it's actually a portable lap desk. Pretty cool. But this one felt a little cheap, and plus I already have a better one. I found a PS2 Dell branded ball mouse, which wouldn't be very special on its own, but I've actually been looking for a matching mouse for my Dell Dimension childhood PC that I did a video on a while ago, and this mouse would go perfect with it, considering that it's the same ball mouse that we had for our PC growing up. Definitely getting this. I came across this vintage looking telephone and found it pretty interesting because it had dial buttons instead of a normal rotary dial that you would typically see. Pretty interesting. Spotted a big old Chungus original Xbox 360 power supply. Man, I forgot how big those originally were. This Leapster caught my eye as one of my classmates in grade school actually had one, and I thought it was pretty cool, especially with that pen and touchscreen. I remember they had a SpongeBob and a Finding Nemo game for it, and they even had a Sonic X game based on the TV show, which was pretty cool. Compared to my LeapPad that I had at the time, this thing was so cool, and I was definitely jealous that I didn't have one growing up, but I didn't really care about it once I got a GBA. I knew immediately what this thing was when I saw it, as I actually had one growing up. It's a Bass Wrangler Championship plug-and-play fishing game. I remember having decent fun with this thing despite the pretty basic gameplay and graphics. I believe it even had haptic feedback, which I thought was pretty neat for a plug-and-play. I sort of regret not getting this while I was thrifting, although I wonder if I could emulate it if I ever get an itch to play it again. It's just a regular looking DVD, but it's gold on the back. Must mean it's better, right? Right? Pocket PC? No, actually, that's a CD. Good try though, bud. These laser cleaners honestly never actually worked, at least in my experience. Now this triggered a nostalgic memory for me. So, anyone my age has probably heard of Video Now at one point or another growing up. And it was basically a cheap way to watch movies and TV shows on the go, as portable DVD players at the time were pretty expensive. The Video Now that I had kind of looked like a Game Boy Advance SP. Most releases on Video Now were either some family movies and TV shows from the likes of Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network. And there were even a couple of music video releases as well. I remember I think it was Black Eyed Peas. I had one of their music videos on Video Now, and it was actually the way I originally got into Black Eyed Peas in the first place. I remember the video and audio quality paled in comparison to DVD at the time, but I'm sure to some kids at the time it was acceptable. It got the job done. No thrift store is complete without horribly outdated antivirus software. Speaking of outdated, I feel these quote-unquote meme card games are outdated by the time they even hit store shelves, hence why this one now has a home at the thrift store. I found an Xbox 360 Kinect, which I haven't seen one of these in a long time. I've actually been thinking about getting one recently and messing around with it, and this one was actually in pretty good shape and for a decent price. Definitely getting this one. I had this game on my Wii growing up, but I honestly had no idea that it was also on PS2. Learned something new today. If you had this as a kid, Your childhood was awesome. Someone's bootleg copy of The Simpsons? Okay, a little strange. This label is definitely custom made, as it's got like a paper texture on it. It almost feels like they glued it onto the disc. This can't possibly be legal. First time I've seen something like this at a thrift store for sure. I forgot to get a photo of this last item, but I also picked up a copy of Microsoft Office 2007 Small Business with the product key as well. And the disc was in immaculate shape. I figured it'd be nice to have an old copy of Office to play around with my older computers. Funny enough, at checkout, the clerk saw me purchasing it, and they asked me, "Is there a reason you're needing Office 2007? And I just said that I'm a computer nerd and I like to mess around with old software, and they chuckled about it. And there was my thrifting adventure for the day. I left there with a PS2 Dell mouse, a Kinect, and Office 2007. Pretty happy with my finds. So I guess this is the end of the video. Bye!